Watching LA Live News Tonight, I'm Christine Devine.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Phil Schuman. A joyful night celebrating the Knicks NBA championship over the weekend turned into a tragedy. A dog shot and killed by LAPD officers, and it's sparking a lot of outrage.
Now the pet owner has the community behind her, and activists are demanding accountability. We go live to Fox 11's Gina Silva in downtown LA with the story. Gina.
That's right. This is just such a heartbreaking case. And as you said, the dog's owner, as well as activists, and not just locally. If you are online on social media, you can see the outrage, and everyone is demanding answers after that beloved pet was shot and killed by an LAPD officer.
I wish there was some type of protocol, training, something. It's just a defenseless dog.
In an exclusive interview with Fox 11 News, the day after her golden Saint Berdoodle Jameson was shot and killed by an LAPD officer, Marie Marseille expressed the shock and devastation of witnessing her beloved 2.5-year-old dog die in front of her.
I was so close to Jameson that one of the casings ricocheted, fell at my feet. And I smelt the sulfur from the bullet. That's how close I was to him.
The heartbreaking video of Marie sobbing over Jameson, captured by a neighbor, has more than 18 million views. Activists are now demanding answers, transparency, and accountability from the LAPD.
And I'd like to know the name of the officer who did this, the name of the officer that needs training. I think the public deserves that answer.
The National Action Network is demanding the immediate release of the body-worn cameras worn by the officers who shot and killed Jameson, a beloved family dog.
Marie had been celebrating the New York Knicks' historic victory on Saturday night. Jameson was also sporting his own jersey, but someone called 911 saying a woman was screaming. Marie explains what the officers told her.
The neighbor called and said there were 2 females in here screaming, and it sounded like domestic violence. I'm like, oh no, it's just me.
The LAPD says when officers arrived at Marie's home, they asked her to secure her dog. Part of their statement reads, "She reopened the door and the dog exited the apartment. Once outside of the apartment, the dog charged at one of the officers, resulting in an officer-involved shooting." But according to LAPD's own use of force guidelines, officers are supposed to try voice commands, pepper spray, even a taser, before resorting to lethal force.
I don't understand how you are so scared as a police officer, as a person of authority, would be so scared of a dog coming towards you, not even showing any type of aggression or anything. The first action is to pull a gun on a defenseless dog? That doesn't make any sense to me.
The LAPD says the shooting remains under investigation. Now, Marie told us tonight that she hopes that investigation is unbiased, and she added that she doesn't want any other families to endure the heartbreak and the trauma that she has experienced. Phil, Christine?
I mean, it's just shocking on so many levels. I mean, we weren't there. We weren't in the police officer's shoes, but the dog wasn't that big. There was 7 cops in that video that I counted. You listed off some of the alternative tactics to de-escalate. I mean, you can't blame people for being upset.
Yeah. Gina?
Absolutely. As you said, that video, that initial video, 18 million views. I mean, it has been seen all over the country, and I'm sure outside of the country, and people are very upset. And Marie was telling me that she didn't realize it at the time. She thought that the dog had been shot twice, but it actually was more than that. She believes 4 to 5 times.
Well, we're going to hear a lot more from this. I mean, the LAPD can't remain silent on this and hide behind that, that generic statement for much longer. I mean, just researching this a little bit, Christine and Gina, that in other cases where similar situations, there have been huge lawsuit settlements to the family. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here, but that's definitely a possibility.
Marie hasn't announced it yet, but I know that she is considering a lawsuit. Right now, she's still in shock and in so much pain. This was her baby. She has a son, and she said Jameson was also her son. Yeah, and you know, she would dress him up. She told me she would make him human food. She'd, you know, prepare the meals on Sundays for the dog. And he was just her world. And they were both celebrating, you know, just having a good time. And she was screaming. So the neighbor who heard the screams and thought maybe someone was in trouble or it was domestic violence, I guess you can't really blame that person, because Marie says that she really was screaming, but she was screaming, "Oh my God," like she was so thrilled that the New York Knicks had won the victory,
Right.
had won the championship.
Devastating outcome of the night.
All
All
right.
right, Gina, thank you.
Surf's up, but so are the risks, as we've been talking about for a week or so now. A powerful combination of high swells and summer king tides, leading to flood advisories. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf live in Long Beach for us tonight, where the water has been a real problem. Matthew?
Yeah, how's it looking out there tonight?
Yeah, the surf is already starting to move in. High tide isn't for another 2.5 hours, but this is the berm. They've been basically having to remake it every morning because of these king tides. And you can maybe see that it's already kind of crashed over the berm where we are right now. So it's already starting to attack this berm tonight. And again, we're still about 2.5 hours from high tide. Elliot will kind of climb up here and show you a look at the water. We have seen some just massive waves already. They're kind of coming in sets. Right now it looks like we're in a little bit of a lull, but here comes one right now crashing up here. Definitely dangerous conditions, and it's scary to see kids out here playing in this high water. Officials are urging people to not do that. But Elliot, if you want to follow us this direction, you can see this berm hasn't been enough, so residents have built this wall of plywood to try and protect their homes on the other side. You've got another wall of plywood on the other side of this walkway and sandbags. Some residents not happy with this situation.
These things, it's violent. My house is shaking.
We are fed up as a community. Somebody needs to stand up. We need to push back. These are our people. This is our community. We've had enough.
Man, these waves is crazy, man. Like, they've been coming as closer since I was a little kid, man. The waves were way farther back. Now they're already coming into people's homes and stuff, destruction and stuff.
It's pretty gnarly. Watching waves break over a wall you're supposed to be walking on is not normal.
So yeah, some residents very upset and wanting a more permanent solution than just this berm out here. And then you can see the berm though. I mean, it's 8 feet tall and it goes 3.25 miles. So 3/4 miles distance, about a mile long. And these waves are already starting to move in here tonight. Again, high tide is at 10:46 this evening in Long Beach, and the waves out here just getting impressive. Elliot, you might want to move back here as it's starting to move in. I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
Yeah.
Being that we cover these issues on the news, it's a little hard for us to watch the kids there so close to the water, in the water as the waves come up, being that we know a child was swept away just days ago in these kind of tides.
Yeah, walk down there and tell those kids to get out of there, will you?
Yeah, we mentioned that to them as well, talking about what happened last week down in Laguna. So it is really scary, and I don't know where the parents are or anything, but we've been trying to talk to them as well. So
that one guy
back if you can.
Thank you. The man that you interviewed on that story,
Out of there now.
Matthew, that was upset. Like, what was he upset about? Like, we expect the city to stop the ocean from coming in or build better walls?
Well, he says,
or what?
and a lot of residents have been saying that this has not been an issue that they've seen for decades. They've heard of king tides and high tides and all that stuff. They feel like this wall of sand is technically, they would say, a temporary solution, and they don't know. They feel like there could be a better solution out there that's more permanent, that maybe they think could save money. I don't know exactly what that could look like, but definitely there is some frustration out here from people that live along this coast.
All right, Matthew.
Thank you. Breaking news tonight, 4 suspects are in custody following a brief stolen car pursuit. This was in Carson. LA County Sheriff's deputies tracked down the vehicle near Victoria in Avalon. We're told that the entire incident lasted less than 6 minutes and ended when the car hit a bus.
Happened again. A small plane crash lands at Whiteman Airport in Pacoima. Luckily, the pilot escapes unharmed, but the crash reigniting those safety concerns about an airport in a densely populated community. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon reports.
How are you feeling right now, sir?
This is a 77-year-old pilot, the sole occupant of a small Cessna airplane that crashed near Whiteman Airport in Pacoima Tuesday morning.
He was coming in for a landing, ended up coming through the chain link fence and into this adjoining parking lot.
Based on initial reports, the airport said the pilot safely landed on the runway, but the landing gear did not deploy properly.
There was significant damage to the aircraft itself, so the pilot can count himself very fortunate for only having minor complaints.
When we come in, I saw everything happens. The airplane on the floor, the engine, the side.
Those like Lazaro Gonzalez, who work nearby, say they're concerned for their safety, especially since Tuesday's crash follows a series of crashes near or at Whiteman Airport over the last few years.
Yeah, it looks like a high-wing Cessna 172 went down here.
Less than 2 months ago, a small aircraft struck a power pole while en route to the airport, knocking down power lines and leaving the pilot in critical condition. This is body cam video from 2022 showing the heroic rescue of an injured pilot seconds before a train crashes into a single-engine plane. Officials say that plane crashed onto the train tracks after departing from Whiteman Airport.
Clearly, the operations warrant many safety measures that are not being addressed.
LA City Council member Monica Rodriguez reacting to Tuesday's crash, saying she's been calling for the closure of Whiteman Airport since 2020.
In the interim, seeking that the county actually works to protect and enhance safety measures and protections for our community, and they haven't done any of that.
In a statement, County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath said in part it is time for the FAA and National Transportation Safety Board to meet their basic obligations. She adds, I call on all operations to cease immediately while a thorough investigation is being conducted. And in their statement, Whiteman Airport also saying they support the county's push for more federal funding to make those needed safety improvements. Reporting in Pacoima, I'm Rachel Aragon, Fox 11 News.
And an investigation continues tonight into that deadly B-52 bomber crash that we reported on yesterday at Edwards Air Force Base. The military confirms all 8 people on board were killed. It was a mixed crew of airmen, government civilians, defense contractors. The widow of one of the victims, flight test engineer Jeremy Smith, shared heartbreaking new details about the final time she saw her husband.
It's been really hard. He just got back to work. He was on maternity leave, and he was only back at work for a week before this happened. Or yesterday morning, it was just a normal day. He woke up. He went to get ready for work. He made our baby a bottle before he left, and he kissed me goodbye and said, I love you. And I said, I love you, and never heard from him again.
Lauren Smith and her late husband were married for just 4 years. They had 2 children together, 2-year-old and, as you heard, a 4-month-old baby that, of course, now she'll begin raising on her own.
At the family. All right, more news when we come back. Tonight, neighbors in Encino are raising concerns about a house they say is being used for parties and producing sexual content.
Fox 11's Christy Fajardo spoke to residents about what they're seeing and hearing. We also hear from the homeowner for his side of the story.
This is the house, or better said, the mansion in question. And I want to get out of the way so I can show you. There's actually a shuttle bus with the Creators Inc. branding in front. There's also the initials of the company on the stained glass. And neighbors say all of the logo and all of the branding is actually proof that this is operating as a business on a residential street, which they believe is breaking zoning law and disrupting their lives. It's a house that's heavily branded and also hated on this block in Encino, a celebrity and influencer hangout that you likely seen on social media. And many neighbors who don't want to be identified say the Creators Inc. home is creating chaos.
Sometimes we get 50 or 100 guests or people that come to this house. All have cars, they park here, sometimes they block driveways, they definitely leave trash behind afterwards. And it's just a lot of commotion and comings and goings of people that you wouldn't normally have in a residential neighborhood.
Other neighbors have the same concerns, sharing videos like this one of their street full of cars, some advertising OnlyFans models. They believe the house is and influencer content. One even gave us a photo of a partially nude woman who could be seen from the street. And this past April, they say the house was swatted with a false call of a gunman.
The police responded with SWAT and helicopters, and we were home and we had to hide in the back of our house away from the front windows. The police told us to stay away from the front of the house in case there was an active shooter.
We are very respectful of our neighbors.
Andrew Bachman is the CEO of Creators Inc. and owns the home. He spoke to us on video call from Florida.
Some of the pictures that were put up online were taken by our neighbors over 2 years ago, and we were aware, we spoke with the city, we've spoken with local PD. Over 2 years ago, we made sure that we give everyone in our neighborhood our phone number. We keep the tightest ship on the block.
He says he's heard of the home being referenced as the OnlyFans mansion and the allegations from neighbors he's illegally operating a business in an area zoned residential.
We actually are not in the content production game at all. We're in the talent management space, and people who we work with, film TikToks and Instagram Reels.
Neighbors say they took their concerns to city leaders and were essentially told that nothing could be done. Their council member, Nithya Raman, did issue a statement telling us there was a community meeting with other city partners and that the original concerns had been mitigated. The city attorney's office did not return our request for comment, and the LAPD could not tell us how many times they'd been out to the home because they said that they did not have that information readily available. In Encino, Christy Fajardo, Fox 11 News.
Hundreds of fans lined up earlier today in West Hollywood as Ariana Grande's Eternal Sunshine Tour pop-up opened ahead of her Los Angeles concerts. The temporary experience features photo opportunities and exclusive merchandise not available at the shows. The pop-up remains open through June 20th in the city's Rainbow District.
Twilight over the Pacific. That's what we're calling it tonight, Christine. We'll be right back.
Now, the latest on the shore fire burning Riverside County tonight. It's grown to more than 3,000 acres, but some good news here. It's 32% contained, up from 25% in the last update. Evacuation orders and warnings are still in place tonight. Shelters have been set up at Valley View High School and San Jacinto Animal Campus.
Weather is sponsored by My Home Sold.
Beautiful day today. Again, we're looking live on our West Coast cam at the fading sunlight. Adam Kruger's here to tell us what's in store the coming days ahead. Adam.
Overall, nice weather. We got a few issues, though. We've been talking about some smoke and fire out east of LA. We got, of course, these coastal issues that continue. We saw Matthew's report with what it looked like in Long Beach. This is in Malibu right now. Obviously, a lot of people out there enjoying these larger than normal waves that are continuing. Keep in mind, though, mostly I would say these are experienced folks. We've got the rip currents that are concerned. If you don't know what you're doing, and not the time to venture out there. All right, so let's talk about first the shore fire, which is the fire that started yesterday. It's a little over 3,000 acres, a bit east of Riverside right now. I'm going to show you the wind forecast for this, which is generally good news here as we go a little later into the evening. Earlier today, wind gusts were 10 to 20 miles per hour from the west-northwest. That wind direction is the same, but again, the forecast gusts as we go to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, into midnight, you can see how the winds are pretty much turning calm, so that should help matters there. We do have some smoke, though, that's going to impact some areas around here, especially near and I'd say east of the fire. Right now, it's moderate air quality, so not that bad, but an air quality alert is in effect for this area in blue through at least the day tomorrow, as that fine particulate matter pollution from the smoke could be a concern. So again, pretty far east of LA, but includes the Inland Empire. All right, then we go to the coast and we've got the beach hazard statement. You've probably heard that line many times since last week. This thing continues to be in effect along the entire coastline. For LA County North, it's in effect through Wednesday. For Orange County South, it's in effect through Friday. We're talking about surf 3 to 6 feet high and rip currents. And then that's combined with the king tides we have going on, causing that coastal flood advisory. And we saw again what it looked like from Matthew's story around Long Beach, where the water is on the way up. The high tide is at 10:46 p.m. and this advisory goes through 2 a.m. because during the night the tide will actually drop quite rapidly, and then the high tides won't be as high going forward as what we saw today, what we saw yesterday. All right, Futurecast now is going to show the clouds coming in overnight as well. Here's another part of our weather story, is that the increased onshore flow is going to bring the marine layer in farther and make it last longer into the morning hours over the next few days, and our temperatures come down a little as we go through the week as well. 11 a.m. tomorrow, still some clouds maybe lingering over the coast, but inland it's sunny. And then through the afternoon, most areas sunny, but those clouds do come right back. Temperatures for tomorrow, we've got 60s in the morning, even into 10 a.m. If the clouds cleared sooner, we might find this temperature a little warmer at this time, but it stays somewhat cool through the mid-morning hours. By the afternoon, it's into the 70s. Here's a look at the highs around the rest of the area. We've got the heat in the desert. It's going to be warm for sure through the IE and the valleys, just not as hot as it's been. We've had 90s here lately, so 80s is already some improvement. 70s for a lot of LA, Orange County, and maybe closer to 70 for the highs along the coast. Again, it gets a little cooler later in the week, and this weekend, it's going to be a bit cooler than normal. I'm not hearing too many complaints about it. Still some pretty nice temperatures, but 73, 74 on Saturday and Sunday for LA. All right, so here's our temperature trend. The highs for LA, Inland Orange County, again, going down a few degrees over the next few days, holding there and then going back up as we go into next week. For the coast, not much changing here. Highs in the low 70s to near 70 for a while. And again, the valleys in the IE where the 90s have been common lately. We've got those temperatures going down into the weekend, highs in the upper 70s by Saturday. Back to you.
Thank you, sir. FIFA World Cup fans, enjoy.
The Santa Monica Pier has been transformed into a World Cup soccer hotspot with live matches and fun challenges. Fox 11's Laura Diaz is live in Santa Monica with a look. And a big night, Laura.
Yes, we're here in Santa Monica where the party continues. When the party was really full, there were 1,400 people here at this club that's been established to enjoy the World Cup, and people are having a great time, Christine. Behind me, you can still see the fans. We're so excited. A lot of fans rooting for Argentina, specifically for Messi. conga line, people flailing their shirts. It's been a wonderful time, but it's been about more than just the World Cup. We're going to talk to Jamie Alvarez right now from the Galaxy. There's also an opportunity to help people in the community. Tell us what you're doing.
We're so thrilled to be able to partner with Michelob Ultra for the Pitchside Club tonight. All the beverage proceeds from this event are going to benefit the LA Galaxy Foundation to help expand access, to bring health and wellness programming to kids and people across Southern California.
What does that mean to families in the area? What does it translate into?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, there's already so much energy around the World Cup, and now to be able to bring something like this into our local communities and to help expand our programming, do some more inclusive programming to show that soccer's for everybody. It's a great sport to play, and here at the LA Galaxy, we just want everybody to have a chance to play an opportunity. This is going to help support that.
You know, traditionally, we don't think of the U.S. as being a huge soccer country, but where do you think we are now in terms of enthusiasm and the sport growing?
I mean, listen, we're surrounded by it. This Michelob Ultra Pitchside event is the perfect example of how the global sport connects us, about how soccer can bring us together. We're surrounded by fans from so many different countries tonight, celebrating behind us. We're celebrating an Argentina win. And it shows that this is a global game, but there's a home for it here right in Los Angeles. The Galaxy have always known that. We're glad that they're wearing their country jerseys today. We hope that they'll be in Galaxy jerseys tomorrow.
Thank you, Jamie. We appreciate your time. You can see that the party is still going on right now. That conga line, I mean, heck, they're having so much fun. And it's really been like this all night long. It's been people playing games, enjoying food, a drink. You know, it's really been wonderful. If you have the opportunity to go to some of these parties and you want to feel a part of the World Cup, even if you don't buy a ticket, I suggest heading to a party and just soaking up the vibe. This is such a quintessential LA moment. We're looking out to the pier. Little bit of the fog rolling in. You know, I'm a proud Southern California girl. I look around, I think this is one of the most beautiful places in the world, and right now we're seeing people celebrating all the countries of the world coming together. And so if you want to know what the City of Angels is about, why don't you go to a party and why don't you feel the love? I guarantee you'll walk away feeling better. I'm Laura Diaz reporting live from the gorgeous Santa Monica, sending it back to the studio.
So
wow.
It's just at Tuesday. I'm wondering, people are watching thinking, when can I go out there? What are the other opportunities to enjoy this?
Well, I'm going to have to check on that for you. Let me see if I can ask, how many days will this continue? How many days?
Until the 25th.
Until the 25th. There's still time. Come on down.
Laura, I've never. All right.
Games.
I've never seen Laura so excited.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
I've never seen you so excited. Even the Dodgers win a World Series.
Oh, come on now. I love my Dodgers, but I'm having fun.
All right.
And I got to tell both of you, I mean, it's just so great to see people happy. We can talk about a lot of the things that have happened over the last 2 years. Many of them have been really tough. So to see people together, celebrating differences, enjoying the moment, fills my heart with joy, and I'm sure it does for you too.
Well, it also helps to have an Argentina win when you're there as an Argentina fan. It's a good night for those fans. All right, Laura, thanks so much.
Well,
thanks.
You know what?
We're going to go to break.
We're going to go to break.
On that note.
Yeah.
across SoCal. This is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
You know, Laura's story last segment was talking about how nice it is to see people happy after all the things that, you know, we have all been through the past couple of years. And this is certainly an example of this. Altadena residents and Eaton fire survivors speaking out tonight at a special Altadena Town Council meeting.
Yeah, they're still going through it. They're calling on Governor Newsom to issue an emergency executive order that protects all of fire-struck Altadena. We go live to Fox 11's Ed Laskos with more.
And Christine, a good point. What a contrast here, because they're not happy. They are, to be blunt, mad as hell as to what is going on, saying it's a land grab as they're trying to rebuild through the fire zone. Only very unhappy that you have outsiders coming in, as they say, buying up a lot of the property, trying to put up subdivisions to profit over their loss has also been a big part of the slogan going on here tonight. Joe, take us into the story. City Hall, Altadena. That's the lobby here, but it gives you an idea about the large crowd, an overflow crowd. Outside here, they're watching monitors, and some on the other side even watching their cell phones because the meeting is being streamed, but they're very upset about what's going on here. Let's get into it. To the video we go. This is the inside of the council chambers. Gives you an idea of the packed house here. Couple hundred easily. So you have an executive order by the governor that comes out last year after the fires, and it identifies the high-risk fire areas like Malibu, like Pacific Palisades, but for some reason Altadena is not on that list. No one seems to know why. The mayor, nobody has an idea why. There's a big push now to have Governor Newsom sign a new executive order to include Altadena, the Eaton fire zone. He hasn't done that yet. Again, we don't know why. So it's opened the door, many claim, for a lot of the outside speculators that come in, buy up land, and then use an area that's maybe zoned for a single family home that burned down, taking that large tract of land and putting up maybe 7 to 8 or 10 subdivisions, multi-housing units in that area. That's the problem. Let's start it off with an official from the county talking about the applications that have come in, and he says they're just being rejected. Listen.
These are not folks that are interested in being part of our community. They're interested in making a profit off of our community. And so, as a civil engineer myself, some of these designs offend me personally and professionally, and
we left a neighborhood that we love, and we're very worried that we're going to be moving back after much energy, time, expense, rebuilding, trying to get back to a neighborhood we love, that it's not going to be the neighborhood we love because of the high density projects that are potentially going to be going in.
And the signs in there say land grab.
Yes, yeah, and somebody today said it was disaster capitalism, and that is what it is.
Now you're looking live. Disaster capitalism, huh? That's another way of saying it. Maybe a more polite way of saying it, because we could say some other things that it's being called, but I don't dare tell you that. But you can get an idea about the emotions that are involved here. When you talk about Altadena here, this fire zone, thousands of homes lost, dozens of lives also lost in that firestorm January a year ago. One other point before I throw it back to you is that there is a push in the Senate to get a Senate bill passed that would include Altadena and would also stop this outside grab, if you will, by coming in and putting in those high-density housing units on a tract of land that just had one home for decades, and now all of a sudden that home burned down, and it's open to anybody to come and grab it. So there's a lot going on here, but certainly a lot of emotion, and it's interesting, Phil and Christine. Here we are, a year and a half from that horrific, terrible, miserable firestorm, and yet the fallout continues, and the emotions for some of these folks are as raw as that night when we were all here back in January 2025.
Thinking that they're still going through with these people.
Yeah, very much so, because they want to rebuild. They're having trouble doing that, but they also have, as some of the folks have been saying, their property is vacant. They've owned the property. It's been given to them by their parents. The home is gone, so they're trying to rebuild, but then they have to worry about some of these speculators coming in, buying up that property before they can rebuild there. And then the thing is, they thought it would be saved, protected, because it's been zoned as single family. But now these developers are getting a way around that loophole in the law, because there's not an exemption that's been signed by the governor to allow that, to stop that, and that's been the big concern. So we'll see how all this plays out, and it would really ease if they could get that Senate bill passed up in Sacramento, but that's still, apparently from what we've been hearing, still a long ways off.
Is that SB 9 you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the one exactly.
So-
They were talking about that tonight. Yeah, very good point.
So
Yes, go ahead.
what is the governor's rationale for exempting Altadena from that? He's never said?
You know what? That's the million-dollar question. I came in asking because I've been learning, talking to the mayor and talking to the other folks, and they said, well, it's crazy. What happened here? You're not on that list. And they said, no, we weren't on that list, and we don't know why. So then I said, well, okay, maybe, for whatever reason, it was overlooked per se, because when they did the ruling, they felt that this area was not a high fire zone for whatever reason. But then you see what happened. So then you would think, okay, the governor would say, because of this, it's just common sense, it's logical, I'll sign a new executive order and include Altadena, but that hasn't happened. So again, the folks here, the mayor, they're still shaking their heads, and we don't understand why. We don't understand the logic in all of this.
All right, Ed, something to follow up on. Thank you. Meantime, tonight, LA County leaders taking new steps aimed at streamlining homelessness. The Board of Supervisors approved a plan to create a countywide resource website and referral system. Would also help victims of the Eaton Palisades fire because that would connect people to rental assistance, mortgage relief, legal aid, housing support. This comes as a new survey shows that 2/3 of fire survivors remain displaced, with many running out of insurance-funded housing assistance. County officials expect to launch this website within 45 days.
Drones equipped with explosives, shooting at a panicked crowd, and a plan to escape. The FBI reveals details of a thwarted terror plot to attack the UFC fight at the White House. Federal authorities say about 20 people were a part of this, including 2 Inland Empire men. Fox 11's Nick Garcia has more on what we know.
A terror plot with ties to the Southland. The FBI says Brian Omar Roa and Michael Allen Thomas, both of Riverside County, were co-conspirators in a plan to set off explosives on the north side of the White House Sunday during the UFC Freedom 250 event. They then allegedly planned to use snipers to shoot people as they ran from the chaos, targeting high-ranking officials, including President Donald Trump.
It was a serious threat. We take all threats of a large nature very seriously, and we investigate them until we can validate 100% that it's no longer a threat. It was an active plot, and it's ongoing.
Court documents indicate authorities found multiple firearms, tactical belts, radios, and ammunition during a search of the homes of Roa and Thomas. Investigators say Thomas admitted to helping plan the attack and encouraging others to take part in it. They say Roa admitted to planning to drive to the Capitol to protest the event, but that he denied being involved in the conspiracy.
I'd say it was unique due to the numbers involved, the level of planning involved. Thankfully, our advanced threat interdiction unit got on top of it very early, involved partners.
The FBI says the alleged conspirators are part of an anti-government group, which was the motivator for their murder plot. Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
Bible Church started in 1936. 1936. That is 90 years of God's faithfulness. They had to go through all of those historical injustices, and Faithful Central Bible Church is still here.
Dr. J.P. Foster is the senior pastor of Faithful Central Bible Church, one of Southern California's most influential congregations. He's a biblical scholar, and as you can see right there, a very captivating communicator who's now authored a book, The Gospel and My Black Skin, Confronting the Past, Reclaiming the Future. Ahead of Juneteenth and Father's Day, we hear from Dr. J.P. Foster. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right, let me see the book. All right, so why this title? Why this book?
So the title is specifically to talk to black believers who have been struggling with the Christian faith in the last few years. I've done studies on it. And so it's to speak to them, to give them hope, to help them to understand their disillusionment with the faith and just where the country is, and really give them hope for what the gospel, the message of Jesus says.
I saw that you wanted answers for yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why? What answers?
Yeah, so I didn't grow up in church.
Okay.
And so because I didn't grow up in church, I was wrestling with how do I reconcile what I see as being Christianity with what the message and actually ministry of Jesus actually is. So that was the wrestle I had. And then I wrestled with my brothers who in the book who mentioned that how do I accept a faith that was weaponized against us in our past? And I think that's what really drove me to write the book, because there's so much stuff out there.
So you were watching you at church there. You oversee one of the largest black churches in Southern California.
Yep.
Your mentor is Bishop Kenneth Ulmer, who was just an icon when it comes to church in SoCal. This is for the black reader first. Let's talk about that.
Yes. Yeah. So it literally is to speak to black Christians who are walking away from the faith. There's a journalist that wrote something called the Black Exodus, where black believers are leaving the church because they're not seeing the ministry of Jesus, and they're wrestling with the division in the country. So I wrote this specifically because now you have people on YouTube and TikTok watching 50 to 30-second videos, and then they're just making decisions with their life. So I wrote that.
But it's not just for the black reader.
No. The end of the book is divided into 3 sections. Bearing the wound, some of the hard past, breaking the change, so on how Christianity has literally liberated us and moved us forward, and then hope for the future, becoming a new body. So Scripture tells us that we should all come together. Every race, every nation, every ethnicity should come together and be one, because we're created in the image of God. So the message of the book is unity at the end of the day.
All right, so we are about to mark Juneteenth to commemorate the end of slavery in the U.S. Where does the book play into that?
Yeah, so the book deals with, in Bearing the Wound, history. Our history, some of the pains that we've gone through. Juneteenth marks a moment of freedom. It was delayed freedom, but it is freedom. And so the book goes through our history, and I think it's very important. You have to know where you were to know where you're going.
Yeah.
And so explaining and unpacking some of the hard history can help you point forward to where our hope and future is.
And I know you have an event on that, but also Father's Day Sunday, we should salute you as a married father of 2 children, and you will be at church doing service on Sunday.
I will be at church.
Yeah. How do you balance all of that?
My wife. Honestly,
yeah, okay.
She's the superhero. She's everything. She helps us. We balance everything. We have a calendar. If it's not on the phone, it doesn't exist.
Well, thank goodness for her, right?
Yes.
Thank God for her, right? All right. So the publisher writes the book is where faith, identity, and truth intersect. You have an event coming up. It's going to maybe be newer audiences who don't see you every Sunday. How do you address a new audience?
You just address the issues that they're wrestling with, tell them the facts of the book and the history of what we're going through. Father's Day is a big day. Fathers look at history and their legacy, and the book deals with both the history that we've gone through and the legacy going forward. And I think in a time where our history is being challenged, we have to be able to tell the world our history so we know where we're going.
Well, let's tell everybody where to find that event here. I'm going to have, there's a screen right there, The Gospel and My Black Skin. It's going to be a special event here at Antioch Church, Long Beach.
Yes.
It's tomorrow night, Wednesday, June 17th. It's at 7 p.m. Is that open to the public?
7 p.m. Anyone can come.
Anyone can come.
Anybody come. Doors open at 6:30. Anyone can come at 7 p.m. and it's going to be incredible.
All right.
It's going to be a good
time.
time.
I'll see you on Sunday at church.
See you on Sunday.
All right. Thank you so much.
Right.
Appreciate you.
Likewise.
Dr. J.P. Foster. All right. We send it back to Adam Kruger for a look at the weather.
Hey, Christine, I'm going to start right here talking about the coast and the beach hazard statement. I know a lot of you know about this, but still, I think it's worth reminding you. I mean, I'm still like traumatized by the video we saw at the top of the news where those kids were playing around in some of the dangerous waves behind Matthew as he's reporting live. And we know, I mean, the ocean can be deadly in a situation like this. Unfortunately, we learned that last week. So the beach hazard statement continues through Wednesday and for LA County North, but through Friday for Orange County and South. And it's because of what we've been seeing for days now, which is elevated surf. It's estimated to be around 3 to 6 feet for the waves and rip currents that can make for dangerous conditions as well. So we have elevated surf. We also have king tides going on right now. So the combination of those causing a coastal flood advisory for the LA County coastline for this evening. It'll expire officially at 2 a.m. And as we get beyond today, the tides start getting lower. Yes, we're still going to have significant high tides, but lower than what we've seen lately. The high tide happens or peaks at 10:46 p.m. tonight. So cautious there, especially for south-facing parts of the coastline, like around Long Beach, where we see some of the waves getting up over some of that temporary barrier there. Okay, so increasing onshore flow is something, this should say just headlines instead of coming up, or I guess I'll be talking about it coming up in the next minute or two. Increasing onshore flow, which means not necessarily it gets more windy with winds from the coast, but just more of an influence from the ocean. So we'll have a cooling trend because of that, especially for inland areas, significantly cooler than what we've had lately. And the June gloom is going to become more widespread. That means the marine layer, the clouds in the morning hours, make it farther inland and last a little later into the day. On the west coast, though, we've got this big dome of high pressure, which has been creating very hot temperatures. Parts of Northern California have been getting up around 100. Yesterday in Seattle, it hit 90 degrees, a record high there, like 20 above average for this time of year. This warm pattern hangs around for another day or so, but it is in the process of breaking down. So that'll continue into the weekend, where just overall it's going to be a little bit of a cooler than normal pattern for a lot of us here. Next week, however, we see another dome of high pressure build in and temperatures start going back up, we think, next week. Futurecast is going to show that cloud cover, the marine layer moving in. Here we go into 7 a.m. You see all these gray and white colors. That's the clouds. So making it pretty far inland, lingering a little bit into the morning, maybe till 11 a.m. or so. And then it's sunshine for the rest of the day. Maybe, though, some clouds hang out over the coast even into the afternoon. Forecast for LA tomorrow. Again, lots of clouds early, sun in the afternoon, high temperatures like today into the upper 70s. Temperatures farther inland will be getting cooler. Notice the deserts. Yes, it's still hot, 90s, some 100s, but those numbers are lower than today. 80s across the valleys in the Inland Empire instead of 90s, so that's some improvement and cooler than what we've seen lately. And actually just quite nice, the temps around LA, Orange County, and a little bit cooler, of course, near the coast. Here's a look at Thursday. The numbers down even more, less of those 80s farther inland. And again, you see the 70s around LA. So I look at our 7-day forecast. Here's your temperature trend. We're just going down a little bit here, a little bit cooler than normal towards the end of the week. Mid-70s this weekend, and those temps going back up next week. We're back after this break.
More evidence of World Cup fever, and the whole city's getting in on the fun. This is a look at a building in Hawthorne where another mural is.
Yeah, I'm going to take this one, Phil, if that's okay. Yeah, so here we go. World Cup fever in full swing. The entire city getting in on the fun in their own way. It's a look at a building in Hawthorne where another mural is wowing the public. We caught up with the artist, Gustavo Zermeño Jr. He tells us he had done a number of murals in the South Bay. This one came out of a special deal with the owner of the business.
I'm actually friends with the owner here, so he did a little bit of work on my car, and I painted him a mural. So a little bit of a barter system, but I live here in the South Bay as well, so I love doing projects that beautify my own community as well.
All right, you can see more of Gustavo's art on his Instagram at gz.jr. Get a first-hand look at the new mural. It's at South Bay Auto Glass on Hawthorne Boulevard.
Right, so it's Gustavo's art is on his Instagram page as well. It is at gz.jr. To get a first-hand look at the new mural, it's at South Bay Auto Glass at 13791 Hawthorne Boulevard, not too far from Los Angeles Stadium.
AKA SoFi.
SoFi.
All right.
Congrats to him. It's beautifully done. I was looking at his Instagram page too. A lot of comments there. All right, thanks for watching. That's it for LA Live News tonight.
LA Live News tonight continues at 9, right after the break.
Live across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Now at 9, an alleged terror plot foiled. The FBI uncovers chilling drone attack plans targeting that UFC event at the White House. local Inland Empire men linked to the plot, and
National Action Network is demanding the immediate release of the body-worn cameras worn by the officers who shot and killed Jameson, a beloved family dog.
outrage as activists demand answers from the LAPD after an officer shoots and kills a family pet during a Knicks basketball celebration. Also protection now, Altadena Town Council meeting as Eaton fire survivors demand immediate help from Governor Newsom. Plus,
I'm Laura Diaz in Santa Monica at the World Cup Pitchside Club, where, as you can see, the party continues. That story is coming up.
and good evening, everyone. You're watching LA Live News Tonight. I'm Phil Schuman. Thank you very much for joining us. Very dangerous water conditions persist along California's coastline due to extreme king tides and towering surf, claiming at least 3 lives this week. In Long Beach tonight, crews using sand berms and pumps to shield homes on the beach from flooding. We have team coverage. Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger standing by live in the studio with how long we can expect this to last. But first, let's go live to Matthew Seedorf. He's in Long Beach. Matthew, about an hour and a half from high tide.
Yeah, the tide is rolling in, and right now crews are rebuilding this berm. Essentially, some of those waves were toppling it over, so immediately these crews are working 16-hour shifts, really working overtime to keep on bringing in more sand. So despite the waves and the danger on the other side of this berm that the water is hitting it, crashing into it with a whole bunch of force, we've been seeing these trucks going back and forth, bringing in more sand and piling it up. So right now it looks like this berm is back in good shape and ready for the next round of waves. Conditions right now relatively calm, but again, that high tide, the king tide, is in about an hour and a half or so, so we are expecting it to rise even more. But again, crews out here really working hard to try and protect these homes, and you can see, Elliot, if you want to show, we've got the plywood walls that have been built as well to raise up another barrier protecting residents and their homes on the other side. You can see the sandbags out there. We did speak from residents who have experienced this now. This is the 3rd night in a row.
These things is violent. My house is shaking.
We are fed up as a community. Somebody needs to stand up. We need to push back. These are our people. This is our community. We've had enough.
Man, these waves is crazy, man. Like, they've been coming as closer since I was a little kid, man. The waves were way farther back. Now they're already coming into people's homes and stuff, destruction and stuff.
It's pretty gnarly. Watching waves break over a wall you're supposed to be walking on is not normal.
Yeah, dangerous conditions, and some residents are fed up. They want a more permanent solution than just rebuilding this berm every day. Again, this is the 3rd night in a row that they've been dealing with these king tides and dangerous conditions. They say they're not really sleeping that well at night, not knowing what's happening on the other side of this wall. But we can tell you from personal experience, we were in the news van just a little while ago. There comes the water over the tip top of some of them. But you can hear the waves crashing with some force into this berm, and here comes another wave. I don't know if you can see the top coming, but basically the water hits this berm and then it goes out into the ocean and kind of creates a super wave as it comes right back. And now again, we're probably going to see another wave topple over. You can see it kind of building out there. Very impressive to watch, Phil. I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
All right, yeah, it's an ongoing issue. We're going to keep an eye on that one. Thank you, Matthew. The waves, of course, have been deadly last week. The young girl in Orange County swept away. Then 2 college students from Fremont died after being swept out to sea in Santa Cruz County. Tonight, the victims have been identified, 21-year-old Harshita Nair and 20-year-old Mihail Saran. They were apparently napping on the beach last Wednesday when rising tides trapped them. Rescue crews did pull the women from the water, but it was too late. They never recovered, died at the hospital. One attended UC Berkeley, the other at San Jose State University, and both were set to graduate next year. All right, there's a live look at the king tide waves in Malibu. It's pretty dark out there, but up and down the coast, this is going to be an issue. Are we still seeing some? No, there's a possibility of some surfers out there. At any rate, the man who's been keeping track of all of this for us and has the latest on what to expect, Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger. Adam?
Hey there, Phil. Yeah, I think a second ago there might have been, I saw a light out there in the ocean that looked like some person or watercraft going by. I don't know. But what we are talking about is more of these, the high surf, the high waves. That'll be an issue for at least another day or so, even through Friday for Orange County and southward. This is separate, though, from the king tide. This is just the elevated surf and the rip currents, known as a beach hazard statement. Then you add on top of this the fact that we have king tides going on right now, which is what kind of peaked last night and tonight. And then the high tide starts getting gradually a little lower as we go later into the week. That high tide peaking at 10:46 o'clock tonight. So we've got the water level still going up, and it's that tide going up and the elevated surf combining to make this coastal flood advisory, especially for south-facing parts of the coastline. So, for example, around Malibu, and we saw what the waves are doing there around Long Beach, where Matthew is already making it over that berm a little bit. So it's going to be a little dicey here for the next few hours. This will expire at 2 a.m. And again, the king tide becomes less of an issue once we get past tonight, and the tide starts getting gradually a little lower over the next few days. So we put that behind us now. Here's what we're talking about. With the other things we're talking about, the weather coming up. We're going to be talking about increasing onshore flow, which means there's a cooling trend, especially for inland areas as we go through this week. And the June gloom, those morning clouds, will become more widespread and might actually linger into the afternoon for some parts of the coast. We'll be getting into those details a little bit later. Phil?
All right, Adam, thank you. Now a story that's getting national attention. A joyful night celebrating the Knicks NBA title win Saturday. Well, it turned into tragedy as a dog was shot and killed by an LAPD officer, sparking a lot of outrage. Now the pet owner and the community are demanding accountability. Fox 11's Gina Silva explains what happened.
It truly is a heartbreaking case. The dog's owner and activists are demanding answers after a beloved dog was shot and killed by an LAPD officer.
I wish there was some type of protocol, training, something. It's just a defenseless dog.
In an exclusive interview with Fox 11 News, the day after her golden Saint Berdoodle Jameson was shot and killed by an LAPD officer, Marie Marseille expressed the shock and devastation of witnessing her beloved 2.5-year-old dog die in front of her.
I was so close to Jameson that one of the casings ricocheted, fell at my feet. And I smelt the sulfur from the bullet. That's how close I was to him.
The heartbreaking video of Marie sobbing over Jameson, captured by a neighbor, has more than 18 million views. Activists are now demanding answers, transparency, and accountability from the LAPD.
And I'd like to know the name of the officer who did this, the name of the officer that needs training. I think the public deserves that answer.
The National Action Network is demanding the immediate release of the body-worn cameras worn by the officers who shot and killed Jameson, a beloved family dog.
Marie had been celebrating the New York Knicks' historic victory on Saturday night. Jameson was also sporting his own jersey, but someone called 911 saying a woman was screaming. Marie explains what the officers told her.
The neighbor called and said there were 2 females in here screaming, and it sounded like domestic violence. I'm like, oh no, it's just me.
The LAPD says when officers arrived at Marie's home, they asked her to secure her dog. Part of their statement reads, "She reopened the door and the dog exited the apartment. Once outside of the apartment, the dog charged at one of the officers, resulting in an officer-involved shooting." But according to LAPD's own use of force guidelines, officers are supposed to try voice commands, pepper spray, even a taser before resorting to lethal force.
I don't understand how you are so scared as a police officer, as a person of authority, would be so scared of a dog coming towards you, not even showing any type of aggression or anything. The first action is to pull a gun on a defenseless dog? That doesn't make any sense to me.
The LAPD says the shooting remains under investigation. Marie says that investigation needs to be unbiased because she does not want another family to endure the heartbreak and trauma that she has experienced. Reporting from downtown LA, I'm Gina Silva, Fox 11 News.
And new at 9 tonight, the Los Angeles Zoo is facing major challenges. According to a new grand jury report, the zoo's aging facilities and declining membership threaten its future. The report recommends the city adopt a public-private partnership model like many other U.S. zoos have done to ensure long-term survival. The zoo's struggles include a budget shortfall, closed exhibits, and a legal dispute with their fundraising partners. Live look at the Santa Monica Pier. We'll be right back. All right, ahead of tonight's big victory for Argentina over Algeria, featuring an incredible Lionel Messi hat trick, the Santa Monica Pier transformed into an absolute World Cup hotspot tonight. Fox 11's Laura Diaz is having a lot of fun out there along with the fans. Laura.
Well, Phil, when I saw you last, of course, it was rocking. But pretty much the party is over now, so it's somewhat serene. But a lot of the people here are just doing a little bit of cleanup work. But it has been such a party vibe out here. People hanging together, enjoying it, rooting, of course, and big fans for Argentina tonight. And, of course, Lionel Messi fans really feeling the love. Let's hear what some folks had to say a little bit earlier tonight.
Messi scored. That's just it. Everyone's here to watch him. Everyone here wants him to score and have a successful World Cup. Everyone is already glad he already he went over the hump already and he won the World Cup. So we're just here to have fun. We're just here to enjoy his last dance.
Here in the coast in Santa Monica, watching Lionel Messi scoring again in another World Cup. What can I ask to the life?
Yes, I want to see who makes it in the end. Hopefully it's one of my teams.
I see Mexico.
Yes.
And anybody else you're rooting for?
Yes, Argentina.
Well, of course, if you loved Argentina, you had a very good night. It was a vibe here, soccer-themed games everywhere. Check it out. You had an opportunity to shoot against a soccer legend. We caught fans, both men and women, taking the Messi challenge, which I think is really brave. But the people we watched, they got the thumbs up, signaling that they had done well. Now, this event is a quintessential LA moment, partying by the Pacific Ocean, looking out towards the pier. Of course, today's game is hugely popular, as Argentina was expected to do very well, and they did indeed. Big win for them tonight. But a lot of folks just said that they were here to hang together as a community, to enjoy this moment, and it was really great to see them enjoying each other's company, rooting for each other's teams. And Phil, it was just a great LA moment. Of course, those of us who live here in Southern California, we know how wonderful it is to walk out to the Santa Monica Pier, to look out maybe towards the Ferris wheel and enjoy the perfect weather that we have here in Southern California day after day. A little bit of the fog coming in now. I'm sure Adam could talk about that a little further, but it's been a great afternoon here. And folks telling me that they really felt the soccer love. They were very proud of Southern California. Some people came in from out of state. Others were just local, taking in the vibe. I'm Laura Diaz, reporting live from Santa Monica, sending it back to you in the studio. Phil?
So, Laura, if they missed it tonight, is this going to be continuing during the World Cup?
Yes, it goes all the way to the 24th, right? 25th. I got the 5 fingers up. 25. So if you still want to come out and enjoy this, there's still lots of time to do so. And it really is very Southern California. If you feel like you need something that's going to make you feel like you're at home while you're celebrating countries from all over the world, this is the place to do it. It holds up to 1,400 people. I was rubbing shoulders with about 1,400 people earlier, and so you have a chance to really soak up the excitement. There was a conga line going, a lot of people having fun. Phil?
So can families go, or do you have to be 21 because of the beer?
You have to be 21 or over. So they didn't card me, Phil. I'm trying not to feel offended, but yeah, you had to be at least 21 to get in the door.
All right. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. Sounds like it was a blast. Thanks, Laura. More on that. And of course, there are many ways to watch all the World Cup matches, including here on Fox as well as FS1. In fact, Austria and Jordan playing now up in San Francisco. You can also catch the games on the Fox One app and plenty of other apps, including YouTube TV, Hulu Plus, Live TV, Fubo, and the DirecTV stream. Basically, if you want to watch it, there's an app for you.
Weather is sponsored by American Career College.
And something a little bit unusual, this is a time-lapse version of our Malibu camera today. As you can see, lots of surfers were out there with those big waves. That is one of the places to be along the coast. Let's check in with Adam Kruger. Adam, looks pretty good, huh?
I love watching the time lapse of it. It's so cool. And then you see just like the the traffic, right? The river of surfers that kind of go through that one spot and then make their way back on the waves. Very cool to watch. But yes, we do have elevated surf. We know that's been the case for many days now and will continue at least for another day. For Orange County, actually until Friday, there's a beach hazard statement because of the elevated surf. And yes, then we have king tides. And if you're wondering what even does that mean, some of the highest high tides of the year and some of the lowest low tides of the year occur during king tide, which we see happening right now. And this will occur a few other times later in the year as well. So we've got all that kind of coming together, the high surf, the king tides, making for some minor coastal flooding in some spots. That should be less of a concern once we get past tonight. But the tide is going to peak tonight in about an hour and a half, like 10:46 p.m. to be exact. All right. Now, as far as our temperatures and highs over the last several days, we're looking at the calendar of day-by-day high temperatures going by downtown LA. And you can see how the 79 today is actually the coolest in a week. We've been talking about this gradual cooling trend this week. So 81, 80, 79, and it's going to keep going down towards mid-70s by the end of the week for the downtown LA area. And the valleys, the IE, where it's been really hot lately, those numbers coming down significantly. I also want to mention this, something we saw light up yesterday and continue into today. The shore fire, a little more than 3,000 acres out there east of Riverside, kind of between Moreno Valley and Yucaipa. And that's still burning right now. Last I saw, like 32% containment on that, but winds are lower. They were kind of gusty earlier today. You can see as we go hour by hour, the winds are pretty light here, almost completely calm actually by midnight. So that should help kind of, the firefighting effort. And also, if you live somewhere around here or east of there, because winds are blowing from ocean to land, it's an onshore wind flow, there might be some smoke concerns. Right now, air quality sensors showing nothing worse than moderate, but there is an air quality alert, at least through tomorrow, for this area in blue. That's, LA on the left side of your screen right here. Here's Orange County. So our eastern areas seeing that air quality alert because of the smoke pollution. All right, now on the West Coast, we've got a very warm pattern going on right now. There's some triple digits today and again tomorrow in some parts of central and northern California where heat alerts were in effect. Locally, warm but not as warm as it's been. Here's a look at our forecast lows overnight, and most areas in view here, low 60s, near 60 degrees, pretty common. Tomorrow, we're going to see those temps on the rise, but the warm up will be delayed a little bit because of marine layer clouds that'll hang around a little later in the morning. It will eventually clear, though, and we get those temps into the 70s in the afternoon. High heat in the deserts tomorrow, but even these numbers, as hot as they are, not as hot as it's been the last few days. It was 110 today in Palm Springs, so that 106 tomorrow is some improvement. You can see across the valleys in the Inland Empire where there were a lot of 90s today and lately. Well, instead, it's going to be 80s. So those temperatures are lower. Near the coast, it is a little milder. Quick look at a futurecast here showing those clouds coming in by tomorrow morning, lingering along the coast maybe into midday, and then most or all areas get sunshine by the afternoon. Our 7-day forecast has our temperatures going down a little, 78, 75, 74, 73 through Saturday. So that's a little cooler than normal for this time of year. And then they start going back up as we go into next week. We're back after this break.
The FBI uncovers a chilling terror plot involving drones, potentially armed with explosives. They were targeting that UFC fight at the White House over the weekend. Authorities say about 20 people were involved, including 2 men from the Inland Empire. Fox 11's Nick Garcia has details.
A terror plot with ties to the Southland. The FBI says Brian Omar Roa and Michael Allen Thomas, both of Riverside County, were co-conspirators in a plan to set off explosives on the north side of the White House Sunday during the UFC Freedom 250 event. They then allegedly planned to use snipers to shoot people as they ran from the chaos, targeting high-ranking officials, including President Donald Trump.
It was a serious threat. We take all threats of a large nature very seriously, and we investigate them until we can validate 100% that it's no longer a threat. It was an active plot, and it's ongoing.
Court documents indicate authorities found multiple firearms, tactical belts, radios, and ammunition during a search of the homes of Roa and Thomas. Investigators say Thomas admitted to helping plan the attack and encouraging others to take part in it. They say Roa admitted to planning to drive to the Capitol to protest the event, but that he denied being involved in the conspiracy.
I'd say it was unique due to the numbers involved, the level of planning involved. Thankfully, our advanced threat interdiction unit got on top of it very early, involved partners.
The FBI says the alleged conspirators are part of an anti-government group, which was the motivator for their murder plot. Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
Up next, Altadena fights back. Fire survivors assemble to demand an emergency protection order from the governor.
Live across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Tonight, Altadena residents and Eaton fire survivors are speaking out at a special town council meeting. They want Governor Newsom to do more to protect all of fire-struck Altadena. Let's go live to Fox 11's Ed Lascos. He was at the meeting tonight. Ed?
And Phil, that meeting continues this late hour. Lots of emotion here from a lot of the folks through Pasadena in the Eaton fire zone, lost their homes trying to rebuild, but the concern is, as they call it, the land grab. A lot of outsiders coming in, buying up the vacant lots for multi-unit housing to make a, as they say here, to make a buck off of our disaster, our tragedy. Joe, take us into the story, talking about City Hall here, Altadena. Big crowd inside, but it's a small council chamber, so you have the overflow crowd here in the lobby, watching the monitors, cheering as a lot of folks come up, calling for an investigation, but really speaker after speaker, their emotions, they're still burning strong. Watch.
Disaster capitalism, and that is what it is. There's people are capitalizing on this disaster. Give us a chance to try to get back to the community we lost.
It's the fallout from the destructive and the deadly Eaton fire. The victims now turned survivors, out fighting to stop the outsiders from coming in and buying up the lots for multi-unit housing. There's been a flood of proposals so far.
These are not folks that are interested in being part of our community. They're interested in making a profit off of our community. And so, as a civil engineer myself, some of these designs offend me personally and professionally. And
the applause and then all the signs, check them. It reads, "Stop the land grab." They want to protect the burnt-out lots for the single-family homes that once stood there before that firestorm January last year.
Just trying to get our community back. We're not trying to change the structure of Altadena. This was a lovely place to live.
But the thing is, a lot of these outsiders are coming in, you know, and they
I know. And I think that's wrong. You know, we don't have enough infrastructure.
Emotions driving this big city meeting. The city council chambers packed, the overflow crowd, some even watching as it streams on their cell phones, as some inside demand a DA investigation.
I'd like to see the LA County District Attorney start investigating these companies that are coming into our area and doing these multiple properties on one, or multiple buildings on one property. That's something.
Now you're looking live here, City Hall, the overflow crowd. So you have the calls for an investigation by the district attorney in L.A. County, to also calls for Governor Newsom to step in and sign an executive order to place Altadena, this area, as a high fire zone, which would protect it from a lot of the outsiders coming in. That is a protection that was granted through an earlier action by the governor in areas like the Pacific Palisades and also Malibu, deemed high fire areas. But a lot of folks here are still trying to understand why Altadena was not put on that list to begin with. They're trying to get that action now. And Phil, as we've been talking earlier, there's also proposed legislation up in Sacramento with the Senate, the state Senate, to try to get a bill passed that would also bring this protection and protect the single family homes, the zoning in the area, to stop those outsiders coming in with their big time developments.
So what we're saying is that currently the state law would allow someone to come in and purchase what was a single family home and put two or more homes on the lot?
Yeah, up to about 10 multi-units in some areas. There's a loophole in the law now, as it's being described here to a lot of folks. It's allowing a lot of these outsiders, these crafty investors, to come in and try to do that. The county's doing everything it can to kind of slow those permits down, waiting for that legislation up in Sacramento, saying it's just not fair. But the big question, and we were talking about earlier last hour, is how could Pasadena itself be left off that list when you consider what happened here? And even the mayor, when you talk to him and some of the other city leaders, they're trying to scratch their heads, figuring it just doesn't make any sense.
All right, Ed Lascos, live tonight in Altadena. Thank you for that update. Controversy continues there for those folks. Meantime, LA County launching a new website and referral system to try to impact homelessness and also at the same time help fire survivors. This would connect people to rental aid, legal support, housing help. 2/3 of fire survivors still displaced. They want to have that ready within 45 days. Happening now, evacuation orders and warnings still in place for what's called the Shore Fire. This is out in Riverside County. So far, 3,000 acres burnt, 32% contained. Westbound Highway 60 at the 10 shut down for hours today as crews fought that fire. They've since reopened. Shelters set up at Valley View High School and for animals at the San Jacinto Animal Campus. Well, it happened again, a small plane crashing at Whiteman Airport in Pacoima. Luckily, the pilot escaped with minor injuries, but the crash reigniting safety concerns about that airport in a populated area. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon reports.
Now, how are you feeling right now, sir?
This is a 77-year-old pilot, the sole occupant of the small Cessna airplane that crashed near Whiteman Airport in Pacoima Tuesday morning.
He was coming in for a landing, ended up coming through the chain link fence and into this adjoining parking lot.
Based on initial reports, the airport said the pilot safely landed on the runway, but the landing gear did not deploy properly.
There was significant damage to the aircraft itself, so the pilot can count himself very fortunate for only having minor complaints.
When we come in, I saw everything happens, the airplane on the floor, the engine, the side.
Those like Lazaro Gonzalez who work nearby say they're concerned for their safety, especially since Tuesday's crash follows a series of crashes near or at Whiteman Airport over the last few years.
It looks like a high-wing Cessna 172 went down here.
Less than 2 months ago, a small aircraft struck a power pole while en route to the airport, knocking down power lines and leaving the pilot in critical condition. This is body cam video from 2022 showing the heroic rescue of an injured pilot seconds before a train crashes into a single-engine plane. Officials say that plane crashed onto the train tracks after departing from Whiteman Airport.
Clearly, the operations warrant many safety measures that are not being addressed.
LA City Council member Monica Rodriguez reacting to Tuesday's crash, saying she's been calling for the closure of Whiteman Airport since 2020.
In the interim, seeking that the county actually works to protect and enhance safety measures and protections for our community, and they haven't done any of that.
In a statement, County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath said in part it is time for the FAA and National Transportation Safety Board to meet their basic obligations. She adds, I call on all operations to cease immediately while a thorough investigation is being conducted. And in their statement, Whiteman Airport also saying they support the county's push for more federal funding to make those needed safety improvements. Reporting in Pacoima, I'm Rachel Aragon, Fox 11 News.
And an update now on this tragedy we told you about yesterday. An investigation is underway tonight into that deadly B-52 crash and fire at Edwards Air Force Base. Killed all 8 on board. Tonight, the widow of one victim speaking out. He was flight test engineer Jeremy Smith. His widow sharing heartbreaking details about the final time she saw her husband.
It's been really hard. He just got back to work. He was on maternity leave, and he was only back at work for a week before this happened. Or yesterday morning, it was just a normal day. He woke up. He went to get ready for work. He made our baby a bottle before he left, and he kissed me goodbye and said, I love you. And I said, I love you, and never heard from him again.
Smith and her late husband married for 4 years, 2 young children. Tonight, a man is accusing Burbank officers of police brutality stemming from an incident last October. The whole thing caught on body cam video. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez in Woodland Hills, where he and his attorney announced the lawsuit.
Look out, I'm gonna tase him. Look out, look out.
Officer video of the October 2025 arrest of Aaron Robinson by Burbank police. Records show the initial stop was for possible drugs and resisting arrest.
Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach. Want to do it again?
Good.
No, hurt me. Okay. Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach. Okay. Get on your stomach now.
I was just trying to accommodate as much as I could. That was the word. But for some reason, my accommodation turned into aggression, and what more can we say?
In the videos, you do not see anything of drugs. He does have some erratic movements because of his medical condition, but that's not because of drugs.
No prior drug use. The next day, me and my daughters, we went to the place to get that handled. So, but it's very disturbing because what more could I do but just say, okay, you win.
Okay. On your stomach.
You win, yeah.
He just keeps getting targeted, racially profiled, just because of the way that he looks. We just really want this to stop. He should not be targeted just while walking. Literally, the streets that he grew up on, he continues to be targeted.
Robinson's attorney confirms his client has been stopped by at least 2 other police departments and arrested for resisting arrest.
With respect to him having been charged previously and not convicted of anything, that's because black men sometimes get targeted. You know, walking while black should not be a crime.
No more. We've done enough. Enough.
Burbank police saying the use of force on this video has been investigated and, quote, presented to the LA County District Attorney's Office, which independently evaluated the matter and filed criminal charges against Mr. Robinson related to the incident.
The court dismissed everything because, as we understand it, it was a charge of resisting arrest, which, when you look at the videos, they speak for themselves.
The district attorney's office confirming they did file charges, including a count of battery on a police officer, but that all the charges were indeed dismissed by the judge at the preliminary hearing. In Woodland Hills, I'm Christina Gonzalez, Fox 11 News.
Sean Diddy Combs set to leave federal prison earlier than expected. He's serving time for transporting prostitutes across state lines. He has a release date of February in 2028, 4 months earlier than a previous date. The 56-year-old is currently at a low-security New Jersey prison, said to be participating in a drug rehab program. Meantime, LA authorities are reviewing 2 new sexual assault cases against him. Wow. Niagara Falls. We've got Adam's full forecast coming up. Before we head to break, let's enjoy that live picture from our Earth Cam. They light it up every night with different rotating themes, apparently. Tonight we take you back to Altadena, another look at that struggling community. Today there was a powerful show of unity and collaboration as first responders traded badges and hoses for hammers and saws to help build a home.
The fire department, LA County sheriffs have come together, and they're both out here helping, basically bring hope and rebuild the community after seeing so much devastation.
First responders partnered with San Gabriel Habitat for Humanity to build a house and an accessory dwelling unit, the ADU. This is on Terrace Street in Altadena, the original home destroyed in the Eaton fire. First responders say this effort is a natural evolution of their daily work.
We're not just first responders. We come to call for service. We also are community partners. We were here the entire time during the fire, and this just gives us a sense of satisfaction on how to give back to the community and help the community recover as fast as we can. We can't wait for this house to get deliver the keys to the owners, and they can get a fresh start in Altadena.
San Gabriel Valley Habitat has 10 homes under construction, still accepting applications to help other homeowners. Website sgvhabitat.org. A Labor Day tradition that had been temporarily suspended is returning. The 43rd annual Malibu Chili Cook-Off is locked in for September 4th through the 7th, teaming up with Aviator Nation. The 4-day festival featuring live music, carnival rides, and the legendary chili competition benefits the Boys and Girls Club of Malibu. Tickets are online. Grab them early. They're telling us they will not be sold at the gate. How about this one? A rare celestial event happens tomorrow as Venus disappears behind the moon. Starting at around 11:40 in the afternoon. No, it's not the Griffith Observatory disappearing, but it will be visible across much of North America, including at the Griffith Observatory. Apparently, it's hard to see it in daylight, but it'll be recorded for a Thursday YouTube replay. Venus reappears by 12:44 p.m. Then after sunset, sky watchers can enjoy Venus, Jupiter, Mercury, and the moon together. And if you're into those things, do it now because it won't happen again till 2029. Adam Kruger, I bet, has gazed up at the stars a few times in his life.
A couple times, yeah. So it's a little planetary peekaboo tomorrow. Not sure how difficult that's going to be, how difficult it'll be to see during the day. I imagine not easy. And then there's always going to be people doing the phone video, and it's going to look like garbage, right? You can post that on social media, like zooming in on the moon during the day.
We'll probably have a good version of it on the news.
I think so, yeah. And that's, the Griffith Observatory. I'm sure we'll have a great view of it. Okay, so now let's focus on the coast. And we've been talking a lot about this since last week. We've seen elevated surf. That continues for a little while longer, 3 to 6 feet high. And rip currents will continue to be a concern as well. It's known as a beach hazard statement. It's in effect through tomorrow for LA County and north, but in effect through Friday for Orange County and south. So it's not like we're quite done with this just yet. And then the combination of the elevated surf and then king tides, which is some of the highest high tides of the year, that all coming together to create some minor coastal flooding. We've seen video of that around Long Beach, for example. It's the south-facing part of the coastline where that's the biggest concern. So the Malibu coastline, Long Beach coastline, for example, high tide will peak right at 10:46 tonight. So the tide is still on the way up. It'll fall off significantly overnight. And then after today, we don't expect this coastal flood advisory to continue because the high tide every day is going to start getting gradually a little bit lower and lower once we get past tonight and we get past this king tide event. All right, now in our weather, aside from everything we just talked about at the coast, we have an increasing onshore flow, which means more of an influence from the ocean. So that means as we go through this week, a cooling trend, especially inland where it's been really hot lately. So it'll be significant cooler there. And the June gloom, the clouds that build in during the night and morning, is going to become more widespread and probably linger a little later into the day in some spots, especially along the coast, could be kind of slow to clear up even into the afternoon hours. Let's look at that on Futurecast now. So that's the cloud cover building in, the June gloom, the marine layer, whatever you want to call it. All the clouds there filling in certainly across the basin, but maybe into parts of the IE, definitely into some of the valleys. That is going to slowly clear. Here we are at 11 a.m. It's still lingering in some spots. And again, even in the afternoon, I think it's possible a few of the beaches of LA County could see some stubborn clouds still there. Now watch what happens Wednesday night to Thursday morning. More of an influence from that onshore flow. Look how far inland. This is a deep marine layer well into the IE and certainly areas between there and the coast. And then that's also going to be kind of slow to clear as we go through Thursday morning. Temperature trend tomorrow. It's not going to be a big heat up in the morning because those clouds are a little slow to clear. So still in the 60s at 10 o'clock. We will see temperatures in LA around downtown getting into the upper 70s in the afternoon. Along the coast, of course, it's cooler. Up to the desert, it's hot, but not as hot as it's been. Even that 106 is a little drop in temperatures compared to today for Palm Springs. And then where we've had the 90s lately, the valleys, the IE, it's down to the 80s there for tomorrow. Pretty nice 70s for LA down to Orange County, and along the coast you see those cooler temperatures. So we've got this cooling trend, nothing major, but just going down a little as we approach the end of the week. It will be a little cooler than normal, which is 77 by the way, as we head into the weekend. For the coast, steady, high temperatures, low 70s to near 70 degrees. Valleys and Inland Empire, again, 90s have been common there lately, so this is significantly cooler. 83, then 80, then even upper 70s on Friday and Saturday. We do expect temperatures to ramp back up, though, early to middle part of next week. Maybe some 90s back in the valleys in the IE by then. In the mountains, we'll see high temperatures in the 70s, again, following that same trend, down a little later this week. In the high desert, it's hot, but not as hot as it's been. There's some breezy days continuing in the high desert as well. And in the low desert, we've got temperatures still over 100, but 101 beats 110 in my book. I mean, it's all hot, but at least a little better. Phil?
It's the humidity, Adam.
Yeah.
All right, check it out. New at 9. Let me tell you, it
Yes.
smells very good here.
Yeah.
Pizza or pastry? Why not both? For a limited time in Pasadena, Prince Street Pizza and Salted Butter Company are coming together with a collab called the Naughty Knot.
So that's this thing here from Prince Street.
It's a croissant-based creation stuffed with spicy vodka sauce, pepperoni, mozzarella, whipped ricotta, and Zab's hot honey. Are you familiar with that? You can only buy it at Salted Butter in Pasadena. Definitely gone viral on Instagram.
Okay.
In addition, we've got pizza from the bar next door, which is in West Hollywood, right next door to Prince Street Pizza there. So we will try everything out during the break. You can go to Salted Butter Company, 1 West California Boulevard in Pasadena. Buy the Naughty Knot from 10 a.m. until they sell out, which will probably be soon.
I'm glad you're talking because I got a bite of this. And so I love the cronut, which is like the croissant donut kind of combination.
Yes.
I love that. So this is a little bit like a pizza version of that, I suppose. The croissant.
I mean,
really good.
This is unbelievable looking.
I love this. Okay. So that's Prince Street. Makes a little bit of a mess, huh?
All right.
And then these real thin guys here, there's no napkins.
Of course there's no napkins.
Just right on the suit.
No problem.
And this is the one from Bar Pizza. Yep. I love a good thin pizza.
All right, while we keep chewing, we're going to take a break and be right back.
All right. Pizza.